3, start.
Dear students, this is a video recording of one of the experiments that's there in 6th semester BSc practicals. For demonstration, we have chosen one experiment, which is the phase shift oscillator. Before we go into the demonstration, I will just briefly explain the scheme of valuation. First one, writing principle, statement, formula and explanation of the symbols with units carries 6 marks and each component has 2 marks. Circuit diagram, expected graph, 3 marks. Tabular column, setting up of the experiment and taking readings and entering, 10 marks. Calculation, that's explicitly shown for different trials, and the main formula and graph, 8 marks. Accuracy of results with units, 3 marks. Class records which will be submitted by you at the time of the practical examination will carry 5 marks. Total marks for practical examination is 35 marks.
3.
Phase shift oscillator using operational amplifier. The aim of the experiment is to construct a phase shift oscillator using op-amp and hence determine the frequency of oscillation. The apparatus that we use is an op-amp trainer, integrated circuit op-amp 741, resistors, capacitors, 1 megaohm potentiometer, CRO, cathode ray oscilloscope, and the group board. Principle: a phase shift oscillator is an electronic circuit that's capable of producing audio frequency oscillations which are sinusoidal in nature. The feedback network comprises of 3 identical RC sections and each RC section produces a phase shift of 60 degrees. So the feedback network produces a total phase shift of 180 degrees. The op-amp, which is used in the inverting mode, provides positive feedback, and since it's used in the inverting mode, there is a 180 degrees phase shift from the op-amp. The total phase shift around the loop is 360 degrees or 0 degrees. The minimum gain of the amplifier has to be 29 since beta equal to 1 over 29. The formulae of the experiment: first one, frequency of oscillation, F theoretical equal to 1 by 2 pi root 6 RC, where R is the resistance in ohms and C is the capacitance in farads. Second formula, time period of oscillation T equal to length of one oscillation into time base. T is the time period of oscillation in seconds. Third formula, frequency of oscillation F experimental equal to 1 by T hertz, where T is time period of oscillation in seconds.
Start.
The circuit diagram that's given in the manual is shown here. I will now rig up the circuit as shown. Before we rig up the circuit, this is the groove board on which the 3 capacitors, which are identical in value, are soldered, and there are 5 different values of resistors in 3 sets that are soldered on the groove board. Before we start the experiment, we have to know the values of the resistors. Using a multimeter, we measure the value of each resistance. I have chosen the first resistance now. I have measured it to be 4.7 kilo ohms. Choose identical values of the resistance. The second resistance is 4.7 kilo ohms and the third one shows a value of 4.8 kilo ohms. We calculate the average of all the 3 values and enter it in the tabular column. Which is given in the manual. Please note that R is just mentioned in ohms in the tabular column. You have to mention the kilo ohms range of R here. Kilo is 10 to the power of 3.
Restart.
The average of the three values of the resistors is 4.73 kilo ohms. You have to enter R in kilo ohms and write it as 10 to the power of 3 ohms. Likewise, the average values of the three identical resistors is calculated and tabulated as shown in the tabular column. So totally there are 5 different values of resistors, and hence you enter 5 values of R in kilo ohms in the tabular column. Now the circuit connections. The groove board will have one free end of the capacitor, which I am showing in the circuit diagram, that is connected to pin number 6. C is connected to R is connected to C is anyway connected to another R to the third capacitor. The third capacitor is now connected to R1, which is equal to R. That should be connected to pin number 2. I will choose the first value of R here. That is connected to pin number 2. I will use a patch card to connect it to pin number 2. The other 2 resistors must be shorted and in turn connected to the ground. I am connecting 4.7K, the first resistor here, and the second one, and the common point of these 2 resistors will be connected to the ground. G and D is ground in the op-amp trainer. Pin number 3 of the op-amp is also connected to the ground. RF is a 1 mega ohm potentiometer. One end of the potentiometer will be connected to pin number 6. The other end of the potentiometer will be connected to pin number 2. I have connected to pin number 2. This is the free end of the capacitor that should be connected to pin number 6. I now connect pin number 7 to plus 12. The lower plus 12 point is for variable voltage, so you have to connect it to the uppermost terminal, which is denoted as plus 12. Pin number 4 is connected to minus 12. This completes the circuit connections. The output of the oscillator is taken across pin number 6 and ground. I connect the positive terminal of the CRO probe to pin number 6 and the other terminal of the probe to the ground. Now, in order to get the proper sine wave on the CRO, we have to use the potentiometer. The potentiometer is used to adjust the gain of the op amp and also to get a proper sine wave. As you can see on the screen of the CRO, when I change the time base, you will see that this output is not a proper sine wave. Hence, use the potentiometer until the output obtained on the screen of the CRO is a proper sine wave. The potentiometer is adjusted to get a proper sine wave on the screen of the CRO as you are seeing now. Now, to make a measurement, first adjust the X and Y positioning such that the crest of the wave is exactly coincident with the horizontal line with graduations. Now, go along the x-axis and consider the length of one cycle and counting. This is 1, 2, 3, 3.9 centimeters on the x-axis. Now, coming to the entry in the tabular column, as I told you earlier, R in ohms, so it is 4.73 into 10 to the power of 3 ohms. Length of one cycle is 3.9. This is centimeters. Now, time per division, you have to see here time per division. It is now in 0.2. It's important to note the unit of time here. It's in milliseconds. So, make an entry of time per division. You would have just written seconds in the heading of the tabular column. Now, write 0.2 milliseconds as 0.2 into 10 to the power of minus 3 seconds. And hence, the time period T is equal to length of one cycle, or we also call it as one oscillation, multiplied by the time base, which is time per division. Length of one cycle is 3.9 centimeters. Time base or time per division is 0.2 into 10 to the power of minus 3 seconds per division or per centimeter. This I will write it as centimeter, which is 3.9 into 0.2, 0.78 into 10 to the power of minus 3 seconds. That's the time period. Time period 0.78 into 10 to the power of minus 3, and in the heading of the tabular column you write it as seconds. I'll calculate the experimental value of frequency as 1 over T, unit of frequency hertz. 1 over 0.7 into 10 to the power of minus 3 hertz. I will now directly take the reciprocal of 0.78, which is 1.28. 10 to the power of minus 3 in the denominator is 10 to the power of 3 in the numerator, and therefore F experimental is equal to 1.28 kilohertz. I will enter it in the tabular column, 1.28 into 10 to the power of 3 hertz. We have to now verify the experimental value of frequency with the theoretical value. The theoretical value of frequency is 1 by 2 pi root 6 RC. However, for simplification, we use the formula 0.065 divided by RC. The value of C should be noted from the groove board which will be given to you. Here, I have the value C equal to 10.4 nanofarad. You can make a note of C above the tabular column, 10.4 nanofarad. Nano is 10 to the power of minus 9. So, the theoretical value of frequency 0.065, R is 4.73 kilo ohms, 4.73 into 10 to the power of 3. C is 10.4 into 10 to the power of minus 9 farad. I'll simplify the powers first. 10 to the power of 3 and minus 9 gives me a 10 to the power of minus 6 in the denominator, which is 10 to the power of 6 in the numerator. 4.73 multiplied by 10.4 equals 449.192, 0.065. I'll take the inverse of the value 49.192 multiplied by 0.065, which is equal to 1.32. 1.32. Don't forget to read the power in the calculator, which is 10 to the power of minus 3. I have a 10 to the power of 6 here, which on simplification gives me 1.32 into 10 to the power of 3 hertz. That is compared with the experimental value 1.28. You have got the experimental value of frequency almost equal to the theoretical value of frequency within limits of experimental errors. This completes the experimental procedure for one value of R. The procedure is repeated by considering the other value which are soldered on the groove board. Totally, you will enter 5 values of R as explained with the method before connecting the circuit. I will tell you a few points which you have to keep in mind while doing the circuit connections. As I have already told you before, do not use the variable point of voltage for pin number 7 or for pin number 4. Second point, you have to identify the free end of the capacitor to connect it to pin number 6. This is obviously not the free end of the capacitor, so this free end is to be identified and connected to pin number 6. Point number 3, choose identical values of R. You may get confused because there are these many resistors soldered on the groove board. Point number 4, you have to connect 2 values of R which are identical. So physically 2 resistors have to be shorted and then connected to the ground. Generally, this kind of a wire with 3 crocodile clips would be given to you. Choose 2 crocodile clips to short the 2 resistors and the third one to be connected to the ground. The free end of R should be connected to pin number 2.